All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 52. And boy, oh boy, do we have a good one today, guys. This is, of course, our weekly Solo Man podcast where we talk about everything: news, reviews, discussions, announcements, trailers, upcoming updates, new released updates, all the things, including midnight launches of certain games. Woo! I'm ready, baby. I am ready. Are you guys ready? Because tonight we eating good. Tonight we eating AAA, baby. That's what it's about. PSVR has no games. You can suck it. Look what we got, baby. Look what we got. Let's go. Midnight tonight. It has finally been opened and installed on my PlayStation VR, on my PS5. What is up, guys? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on tonight. It is amazing. It is happy times all around. Cannot wait. We have tons to talk about. Couple new surprising things, actually. Some new announcements of some games. Some crazy updates that I had no idea actually came out. So let's get into it, man. What is up? All yours history, Salvador Game Cat Chicago says the day has arrived. All yours history, yes, we are going to be talking about Ancient Dungeon tonight. I got to play my first couple runs on that. So definitely going to be sharing my first impressions. I couldn't fit it into the title because it is limited, and there's a bunch of other stuff going on. We're going to talk about an update to Green Hell that you need to know about. And then, of course, there is a brand new article written that we're going to go through for Resident Evil 4, which launches at midnight tonight. I'm going to keep today's show kind of tight because we do have the Game Awards tonight, and not sure if we're going to get some PSVR2 announcements, but the stage seems set and ready and primed for a awesome PSVR2 announcement. So I'm definitely going to be watching it. If you want to watch along with us, make sure you join the Discord. Link is in somewhere down below or in my about page somewhere, and come join us, come have some fun, watch along, see if we find any PSVR2 announcements. It's going to be a really long show and we'll probably get like 5 minutes of PSVR at best. That's kind of overstretching there. We'll get like 20 seconds, and then maybe if we're lucky, we'll get some kind of announcement. But tonight is the night at midnight. Resident Evil 4 launches. We've got some new details. So guys, let's go ahead and get into the news. We're going to kick things off. What is up, everybody? Good to see you. We're going to go ahead and kick things off with a new announcement from Bulletstorm. And Kuvo, the developers behind Bulletstorm and Green Hell VR, have brought us a little early Christmas present, which I'm actually pretty excited about. This is of course a first-person shooter with over-the-top style and just dialogue and action and lots of stuff going on. But Kuvo have actually announced a new upcoming DLC for the game when it launches in January. And let's take a look at what they had to say. They said, Bulletstorm, actually the tweet here they had was pretty funny. To all the assholes reading this ain't the country club. Triska is coming to Bulletstorm with brand new energy blades ready to kill some motherfuckers. Let's go. Their words, not mine. We've got Triska with her energy blades, brand new for Bulletstorm VR. For the first time, lace up your badass mercenary babe boots as the legendary Triska Novak exclusively in Bulletstorm VR. Dynamically slash, dash, and impale your enemies as the iconic Triska Novak in 2 new levels exclusively made for Bulletstorm VR. With full support for dual wielding, dismembering your enemies has never been so satisfying. So we're getting some 2 exclusive levels with Bulletstorm VR, where you play as Triska and you've got energy blades and you've got the ability to slice and dice with dismemberment for against enemies and stuff. So pretty cool. This sounds great. It's only 2 levels. I'm guessing there's at least a little bit of length to that, but maybe not a whole lot, being that it's only dose. But pretty cool surprise here. And yeah, Bulletstorm has been delayed, of course, and coming I think January 18th, I want to say. So we're kicking off the new year with a AAA remaster as well of an oldie but a goodie. There it is, January 18th. But that's not all that Incuvo had in store for us today. So recently they announced that there was the ancient ancestor update or something. It's basically an additional story mode for Green Hell VR. And last week I think we covered it quickly, and I'm like, well, where's the graphics update? Well, surprise, surprise. They did actually release a resolution patch with that update that I was unaware of. However, there were some major frame rate issues with it, unfortunately. But there is good news yet, my friends, because they have added a hot fix, I think today or yesterday. And guys, Green Hell is fixed from what I can tell. I jumped in for literally just 5 minutes, so I don't know the extent of it. But the resolution was definitely much better. The clarity was much better. There wasn't like really any aliasing and blur. Now, and here's a look at some of my gameplay here, where I jumped in. I just jumped into survival mode for like 5 minutes because honestly, that's how long it lasted before I got killed. I think the first thing I do is fall off this river cliff and hurt myself and then get stung by a stingray, and then I get eaten by a mountain lion. So sounds about right with Green Hell. Here I go. I'm like just looking and whoops, ouch. Slipped and fell there, and you can see the damage on my arm. Yeah, I got wrecked, man. I haven't played Green Hell in a long time. But yeah, man, so graphically it does look a lot better. Now, it's not like super perfect. It doesn't look like a super next gen game entirely. I mean, well, let's just say it does look next gen, but it doesn't look like super AAA quality. It does look much, much better, and it's a lot more clear, and it's a pretty dense environment. So being able to see everything a lot more clearly just looks so much better. It does look like it uses reprojection. I believe so. It doesn't look to be eye tracking or anything, although it could be, but I don't think so. I think it's just reprojection still, but it's not. This is another one of those games where it's like, actually, you know what? If you're like really sensitive to reprojection and stuff, yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit probably worse for you. I really don't give a shit. There are times where I hate reprojection, but it's rare where it's like I can't play this. Like if you're one of those people, then yeah, you're gonna want to probably stay away. But I just got to give mad props here, because this is really, really awesome, because I actually enjoyed this game despite some of the issues, despite the graphics and some other things. I love how deep the survival mechanics are in this game. And it is just, this game has really hardcore, awesome survival mechanics, and it's a lot of fun in that regard. And it's just really nice where the jungle doesn't look all janky and awful. There is some some texture pop in. There's still some LOD stuff with the way the kind of levels render in. So again, it's not like perfect. It's not going to blow you away, but it does look very, very good. And it's pretty awesome, man. So really, really exciting times about this. That's where I got stung by a stingray trying to beat it with a stick. I guess I deserve that. But that's not all, man. So in addition to this update, and which is awesome, now that they've fixed the graphics, it's acceptable to me. I think the graphics are very, very acceptable, at the very least, if not good looking. But in addition to this clarity update and resolution, everything, they've added this new story mode, prequel DLC, I think it is. And then now they've announced coming in 2024. We had our first teaser yesterday for co-op mode, and yeah, so it only shows 3 players in the co-op mode. Dude, I got absolutely wrecked in this gameplay footage, in this 5-minute footage. There's a lot of mechanics. There's a lot of things about the survival that you have to really learn and memorize. And this is a game that is hard to cold start and just dive back in after not playing in forever. I haven't played it pretty much since release. And so to go from the release to now, it was just like, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was really just trying to run around and look at the graphics and see everything. I think this is where I get eaten very soon by a puma. But what up, Silver Nexus, Old Darth, all my pals here tonight. Good to see all of you guys. Who's ready? But yeah, so in the co-op thing that was teased, it only shows 3 people, but I don't know if it's going to be limited to 3 people, if it's going to have 4-player, what it is exactly just yet. But that's just another thing that's really cool coming to this game. So just had to give a tip of the beanie to Incuvo. Not only do they have Bulletstorm coming on the way January 18th, they did the thing. You guys. They actually patched it. There it is. Whack. And the Puma looks so much better. Oh my God. That mountain lion looked like garbage at launch. It looked like an N64 mountain lion coming at you, and it was janky and terrible. It actually looks it looks really nice and detailed now, which is cool. So that is awesome. Kevin Russ says, so ready for RE4. Just finished Arizona Sunshine 2. I had a lot of fun with it. Good. Yeah, Arizona Sunshine 2 is good times, man. Good times indeed. Like I said before, on my whole 44-minute review, I liked it a lot more than the first one. All right, so that is not the only thing going on, though. We also had an announcement for a brand new upcoming title, or at least coming to PlayStation VR2. It'll be new, and this is a new third-person game. And man, I gotta tell you, as much as like I love first-person games being the driving force of VR, first person, very interactive, 2 hands, everything, which this has. This is another third-person game that's coming, and it's a little mix of like you controlling 2 people. You're playing as this alchemist. You also control this character with a scythe called Moth, and not to be confused with Moss. But I've heard some really good things about this, and I love me some hack and slash combat, and it's just refreshing to get what seems to be a good looking third person VR game, because I think it looks pretty good. Fifth says $5 from Fifth. Thanks for finding the bug in Vertigo 2, AJ. Now it's delayed. You can blame Brian for that one. I found it too. I just didn't report it. No, but yeah, so Moth, let's take a look real quick. Yeah, we can, I guess, mention Vertigo 2 in just a minute. Obviously that's under embargo till tomorrow, but they've asked us, since they're delaying the thing, well, I guess we're talking about it now. Hold on. We gotta talk about Moth. We gotta talk about Mixture real quick. So let's take it over to the PlayStation blog and just see what they have to say real quick. We're not going to go too deep into this. Mixture is a fantasy action adventure in which 2 enemies in an alliance of necessity traverse barren worlds in a quest for redemption. In this dual character control game, you alternate between playing as the master alchemist Sephiros, and exiled knight Sola. Oh, okay. So her name's Sola, not Moth. I don't know why I thought it was Moth. In both first-person and third-person perspective. As an odd couple, you must platform, mix materials, cast and melee, solve puzzles, my favorite, and defeat giant bosses to survive this atmospheric tale. Now that is my favorite, defeating giant bosses. Mix and slash, action adventure gameplay combining the two characters' unique skills, dual character control, explore the wastelands, journey through the handcrafted dangerous barren lands of living metals, ores, and crystals, oversized bosses to defeat on your path of redemption. So I guess there's maybe a little bit of a story here. Hours of exploration, 4 unique biomes, and more than 30 levels. So that's cool. 4 different biomes. Haven't heard that word in a long time, so that's great. I missed the word biomes. Seems like after Returnal Pass, nobody uses it anymore. Boo, bring it back. And more than 30 levels. An action adventure for PlayStation VR2, hybrid third-person camera and fixed camera movement for hours of comfortable exploration in the wastelands. And that is Mixture, folks. Yeah, so it seems pretty cool. I like what I'm seeing here. And yeah, man, this looks really cool. I like hack and slash. I like third-person VR games when they're designed for third-person, especially. And one thing that I saw from this little trailer discussion thing that they had here, they compared their inspiration for the boss battles to Souls games. So obviously it's going to be way different, but I do like that there is some Souls inspired stuff going on here. You know, I've played third person games for 30 something years now, and so it is nice to have a challenge with third person games just because I'm so used to them. So I hope it's really difficult. I know maybe that's not everyone's hope here, but but I actually personally do hope that it's rather difficult and has at least just like some good fun challenge, I will say. But yeah, so that is coming. I don't think they have a release date for it yet. Also, I need to get you guys, I need to pop out the chat here because I can't see you. My Streamlabs is broken. So let me pause this real quick and get the chat. Why is the chat not working? Okay, there it is. Pop out. There we go. Oof, my computer's chugging. Oh, I see what's going on here. I had something running in the background that was using a lot of CPU speed. So sorry if my stream was lagging a little bit. Yeah, I turned that off. I had my video capture stuff open, and that eats the processor alive. So we good, you guys. We're good. Everything's all right. And now I've got your. Now I can see your thing here. So, all right. So before we get on to the next game, I guess we do want to address, yeah, Vertigo games. I'm sorry, not Vertigo games. Vertigo 2 has been announced that it has been delayed. Perp Games made the announcement earlier after they basically said that they discovered a bug in the game, and it seems like a game-breaking bug. And so they've decided to postpone the release by just a little bit. You know, with the certification process, everything they have to do to release patches, it's a little bit hard. But yeah, man. So it sucks. I've been playing this game for review. I can't talk about it yet, though. But let's just say, let's all agree that it's better when a game gets delayed that has some game-breaking bugs or something like that. You know, we want it to be as best as possible. It's unfortunate, and to be honest with you, everything's so stacked right now. Like, we're gonna be okay, and I don't think this is gonna be delayed for a very, very long time. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be delayed very long. Maybe just a couple days at most. So, but yeah, man. So. Looking forward to sharing my thoughts on this one. This is, of course, one of the more bigger upcoming titles, one of the more anticipated games, high-profile game right here. So can't wait to share my thoughts on that one. All right, but something else that's coming out tomorrow. I've been seeing this comment a lot. RE4 Remake VR release date is the bug. Yeah, I wish that was just the case. But yeah, I've been seeing everybody making that joke today, and it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, you know, really nothing matters right now except for Resident Evil 4. Nothing matters. But luckily we only have like what, 5 hours left to wait on that, and then we're gonna be playing Resident Evil 4. So before we get into Resident Evil, we got to talk about something else that's coming out Friday. And that is, of course, a little game called Ancient Dungeon. And this game, here's some gameplay from me playing it. And just want to share some quick thoughts. So this is a game that has, really high praise on other headsets and everything. This is basically a roguelike dungeon crawler. Because if you didn't have enough roguelikes, well, here's another one. Maybe you'll be satisfied now. No, I kid. To be honest with you, I am not a big fan of Minecraft kind of graphics. I really don't like this art style in particular. It's not really for me. However, I do like dungeon crawlers, and I do like hack and slash gameplay. 4 hours and 47 minutes. And yeah, so jumping into this for the first time, I'm kind of like exploring here, just seeing everything. I jump in and I'm like, I wasn't feeling it at first because of the art style. If you don't mind this kind of art style, then it's fine. But let me just say, guys, in the 30 minutes or so I played, I did a couple runs here, and I am liking this game so far. I think it has, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Minecraft art style. However, I do like dungeon crawlers. And there were some things here where I was actually kind of impressed. There are haptics in the controllers, where there's haptics in the controllers when you're cutting stuff or with the sword. Which is really, really nice. Like, they feel like they've really fine-tuned it. There's a lot of destructible stuff in the environments. And yeah, you get to wield a sword, you get throwing knives. There's different types of enemies. Here we go. This is my first run of the game, where it kind of just throws you in here and you go around in the dungeon. I'm kind of getting used to some of the controls and stuff here. Yeah, man, like, immediately, I just start kind of trying to break stuff and slice stuff. And I was kind of surprised that it actually lets you cut things. And there's a nice little kick of haptics when you're doing this. This was actually pretty satisfying combat wise. I actually really like the way that the sword feels, the sword fighting and stuff, and the haptics in it. It actually feels pretty good. So, really though, in all honesty, I only really got to just scratch the surface of this game. So, but like we said, we've heard really good things about it, and I'm really looking forward to spending more time with this a little bit later, maybe next week or the week after that, and give some updated impressions, try to get a little bit more playtime with it. Because if this game has a lot of depth, a lot of variety and stuff, it's actually going to be pretty fun to play. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to checking this out a little bit more. I love dungeon crawlers. I love dungeon crawlers of many, many, many variety types. And just seems like a really cool, this reminds me of Crystal Cave, or what was it called? From the PSVR1 era. There was like some first person dungeon crawler game, and I didn't like it very much. This seems much better, but of course this is like 7 years later, so of course it's had more time to develop and kind of Crystal Rift. Thank you, Awesome Tatum and Looper, and Synonyms Botch. Thank you. Yeah, good stuff, man. But yeah, I can't get to this game right now anymore because my plate is already super full. It's the best problem to have right now. However, I do look forward to playing this a little bit more later. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the main topic of tonight. Like I said, this show is going to be a little bit shorter tonight, but we're going to be partying because Resident Evil 4 launches tonight. Like I said earlier, I just opened it for the first time. I just took off the shrink wrap for it, installed it, got like any data downloaded that I needed to. Desperately searched the store to see if they had accidentally uploaded the VR mode. It hadn't happened yet, but yeah, man, tonight is the night. Nihilus Ryan, the game feline, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate all your guys' support, man. It really, really goes a long way and helps a bunch. So I really do appreciate you. Says best launch or best day since launch day. Hype train is unstoppable, dude. I could not agree more. We've got Resident Evil Village. I'm sorry, why do I always say that? Resident Evil 4 dropping at midnight. We've got the Game Awards are actually starting in about 15 minutes, I think, for their pre-show or something. Again, you can watch it with us in Discord, or we'll be hanging out. And there could be some PSVR2 announcements. I wouldn't watch the whole thing just waiting for a PSVR2 announcement. That is, I highly advise against that, in fact. If I like to watch the Game Awards because I like celebrating video games, and it feels like a celebration. And boy, oh boy, does tonight feel like a time to celebrate, because we made it, y'all. We made it. Yeah, and Resident Evil 4, by the way, for those who don't know, is on sale right now on PSN for a Game Awards sale for $30, $29.99. So if you haven't picked it up yet, you can get it for $30 right now and jump in tonight or tomorrow as soon as you can. And you're going to want to, because it's going to be amazing. I'm thinking right now, I am actually very, very confident, and I believe that Resident Evil 4 is going to be the greatest VR game ever made. And I believe we are going to get our hands on it tonight. And yes, for those who are asking, I am going to be streaming my first impressions at midnight. So I know Brian's going to be streaming it as well. If you want to come chat while I'm streaming it, I will have the chat on. It's just for fun. We're just going to be hanging out. I'm going to be checking it out. You'll get to see my first reactions, my first impressions, and then we'll also get to chat a little bit, because it being midnight and Brian also streaming, there should be less people probably tuning into mine than usual, but I'm still excited about it nonetheless, plus a bunch of people not wanting spoilers. So it should be a little bit more smaller event tonight, and it'll just be more of an intimate time together, hanging out, playing Resident Evil 4 VR mode, the full game. Cannot wait, man. But we have some new deets that we need to get into because the party ain't over yet. Oh, and by the way, I do agree with you, Nihilus Ryan, 100%, that this is the best day for PSVR2 and for maybe all of VR since the launch of PSVR2. Between the news of, you know, the stuff like Bulletstorm and Green Hell getting patched, like, dude, the ship is starting to right itself. And yeah, man, you know, I think I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Resident Evil 4 at the Game Awards. So, dude, they're gonna definitely mention the PSVR2 mode, most likely. And yeah, we also know that Resident Evil Village. I can't wait to see who wins the PSVR2 Game Award, best game. It's actually the best VR game of the year, but they're all PSVR2 games, which is funny because some guy told me PSVR2 doesn't have any games, although they're the only VR ones nominated tonight. Okay, but yeah, man. So again, the stage is set and primed and ready, and would be a good opportunity to get some surprises, if not a surprise. I'll take one big announcement that is not just, hey, Resident Evil 4 is releasing midnight, because we already know that. One surprise announcement. Oh yeah, I forgot there was some other stuff. Bad Robo said, humanity with the upset. Bad Robo's rooting for humanity out here. Oh, too funny, man. Yes, Awesome Tatum. You keep that on Gamescast, okay? No, I'm just kidding. Galaxy Kart did get an update too, but Brian will tell you about it 3 times a day and on Gamescast, so I'm sure everybody knows by now. I'm sure he included in his everything you need to know about Resident Evil 4 video. He's got like a Galaxy Kart update. Maybe a Very Bad Dreams one too. Love you, Brian. Shout out to you, my friend. But yeah, man. So we've got some new details. Let's go ahead and break down this article from the developers over at Capcom. We kind of read through some stuff last week, but this is brand new stuff here. So let's take a look and see what they have to say here. All right. Resident Evil 4 VR mode out December 8th, standalone, blah, blah, blah. Hi there, PlayStation blog readers. Oh, he started. Wait a minute. Is this? This is the old one. Hold on. There's a newer one. Hold on. There's a newer one. This one here. Resident Evil 4 VR mode interview, new gameplay features, learnings from RE Village, and more. All right, so let's break this down. We got fresh details ahead of launch, including improved weapon immersion, headset feedback, yes, my favorite, and more combat options. This is from Sashi Kobari from PlayStation Blog Japan. It says, later this week, owners of Resident Evil 4 and PSVR2 will be able to experience... No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect, Sashi. In 5 hours and, I don't know, 14 minutes... It might be less now. 5 hours and something minutes. Owners of Resident Evil 4 and PSVR2 will be able to experience the Survival Horrors VR mode for no additional cost. Launching December 8th, this DLC will allow players to step into Leon S. Kennedy's shoes and experience the entire main story campaign in VR for the ultimate immersive experience. And for PSVR2 owners yet to play RE4, a free demo drops the same day. To celebrate the release and learn more about the adaptations of PSVR2, we sat down to chat with producer Masato Kumazawa and director Keisuke Yamakawa, who brought RE4 mode to life. Now, we did cover a couple things last week, like I said, but they've got some more deeper dive stuff. This is a documentary episode. We must document all of this, guys. We must document everything. These are the two legends right here. Left is producer Masato, and right is director Keisuke. Leveraging past experiences to encapsulate the thrill of Resident Evil 4 in VR. The PlayStation blog asked, did you have a VR mode in mind when developing Resident Evil 4? When exactly did development for VR mode start? Kumazawa responds, we announced the main PS5 version of Resident Evil 4 in June of last year, and a plan for a VR mode was already in motion back then. The actual development of VR mode began early this year, soon after RE4 went gold. We completed it in less than a year, so we were on a very tight schedule. Nonetheless, we fully committed ourselves to bringing the thrill of RE4 to VR. So right off the bat, guys, that's kind of interesting. They started development of that this year after the game launched on the flat version. So not a bad turnaround time. Obviously, these guys are experienced. They did it once with Resident Evil 7. They did it again with Resident Evil Village. So they kind of knew what they had to do to get it done. But there's more details to get into. Yamakawa says, although we had to make some tough choices, we made sure to include all the essential elements that we felt were indispensable. PlayStation Blog asks, how did the development process of VR modes for Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village influence VR mode for RE4? Yamakawa says, I also worked on VR mode for Resident Evil 7, and the director who worked on VR mode for RE Village aided us during the initial phases of development for RE4 VR mode. I believe that the knowledge and expertise we've gained about VR over the years were put to good use in this game. Kumazawa says, Capcom has its own proprietary game engine called the RE engine, legendary engine is what I like to call it, and VR modes for RE7 and RE Village were developed using this engine. Having that experience helped the development of VR mode for RE4 go more smoothly. Yamakawa says, since VR mode for RE Village was also compatible with PSVR2, we already knew that what issues may stem from adapting to VR, as well as how the PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers can be best used for gun and UI mechanics. I think having this foundation allowed us to develop VR mode for RE4 in less than a year and made it possible for us to achieve the final product. For example, in RE Village, laser pointers that came out of both hands were used to navigate the UI. However, this caused a glitch where two items on the menu could be selected at the same time. So in VR mode in RE4, we made sure the laser pointer only came out of your dominant hand. Kumazawa then says, since the early stages of production, we asked for a lot of favors and may have made some unreasonable requests to the development team so that we didn't keep players waiting for too long after the release of RE4. Thank you for not making us wait too long. We appreciate it. PlayStation Blog asks, did you make any changes to Resident Evil 4 mode, VR mode, based on feedback from players who experienced VR mode on Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village? Yamakawa says Resident Evil Village revolved around the concept of playing as Ethan Winters, who is an ordinary man that got caught up in a chain of very unfortunate and horrific events. However, RE4 centers around Leon, an agent who works directly under the president, so the approach and experience for the players are very different between the two VR modes. For one, I can see that Leon will most likely not have his hands abused. You know, credit to Ethan Winters. I love Ethan Winters. That poor man, like his hands, I've never seen a video game character's hands be so brutalized more than Ethan Winters. Anyways, let's continue here. This isn't necessarily a direct reflection of user feedback, but because Leon is a professional agent, we put an emphasis on incorporating actions that felt cool and stylish, such as pairing with a knife. I cannot wait to do that and feel the haptics. Melee combat and one-handed shotgun pumps. Yeah, Terminator style, baby. Kumazawa says, personally, I would really like players to experience the knife fight. Wait, that's a little bit of a spoiler. So in VR mode, players no, let's not go there. Let's skip that part. But anyways, knife good. Okay, guys, are we all on the same page here? Knife is good. Let's see here. All right, so no, I'm not going to be watching the Game Awards. Well, you guys can join the Discord. If you're in the Discord, join us in there. We're going to be watching in there, but I'm not going to be streaming the Game Awards. We're almost done here. How did you leverage unique PlayStation VR2 features like eye tracking and headset vibration in Resident Evil 4 VR mode? Yamakawa says, I really enjoy the adaptive triggers on the PlayStation VR2 Sense controller. I do as well. In RE4, you have a variety of guns at your disposal. For example, there are two types of revolvers available, and the triggers will feel different between the single action and double action guns. If you like replica guns, I think you'll be able to tell the difference and be quite surprised. Kumazawa says, you'll spot a lot of hidden details like that in the guns in this game, so if you're into things like that, I encourage you to keep an eye out. Yamakawa says also, when something happens that affects the environment, like explosives going off or the wind blowing, you can feel vibrations through the headset. I think you'll be quite shocked, especially when you get caught in an explosive trap. The headset also subtly vibrates when you're riding a minecart or a jet ski, which I think adds to the sense of realism. Oh my God, you guys, I love it. I love it. 3D audio is another key element. The sound engineer on the development team was very particular about it and came up with all kinds of great ideas without me even asking. We even re-recorded all the gun sound effects for VR mode. We put a lot of effort into 3D audio, so you'll be able to detect enemy positions from the sounds they make, and you can hear the gun clicking right in the palm of your hands when you're tinkering with it. PlayStation blog, are there any improvements or enhancements compared to Art Resident Evil Village VR mode, which also supported PSVR2? Yamakawa says, definitely the attention to detail that went into the guns. We were particular about this in VR mode for RE Village, but we wanted to achieve something that wasn't possible back then. Even if it wasn't directly related to the gameplay, we wanted to make the handling of guns feel as realistic as possible. So in RE4, players can hold or use guns in ways that weren't possible in RE Village. Interesting. For example, in RE Village, you couldn't return a weapon to its original location or inventory slot after it was removed. So if you let go of a gun or knife to place it back in its original place, it would just fall to the ground. However, in RE4 mode, you can place your weapons directly back into your inventory spot, and if you drop a weapon on the ground, it just takes a little bit longer for the weapon to return to your inventory. As an added bonus for knives, its durability will recover a little if you manually sheath it back. Interesting. I think the act of returning a weapon to its holster adds to the experience of playing as Leon in VR. So I recommend players getting in the habit of doing that. You hear that, guys? We got some tips from the developers here. Sheath your knife and put your weapons away for a little faster reloading and stuff. Also, in VR mode for RE4, you can shoot guns while crouching. There are sections of the games where you can shoot at enemies from positions that weren't possible in the regular non-VR mode, so it may be interesting to scout for opportunities like that. Kumazawa says, the main character of RE Village was a regular nobody called Ethan Winters. Oh, poor Ethan, who had to survive a hellish nightmare where he constantly near the brink of death, But this time, the main character is a seasoned agent who's capable of wielding all sorts of weapons to help him get through tough situations. Yamakawa says, one of the taglines for RE4 was, quote, cheat, death, and thrill and conquer. That's pretty fun. And I feel like VR mode encapsulates this really well. If you own both RE Village and RE4, I do physically, I think it would be interesting to compare the different concepts and approaches of the two games. Woo-wee, guys, there's a lot of stuff here. I don't know if I'm going to go through this entire thing. Maybe I should have summarized this a little bit. Holy crap, this is so much more than I thought, but maybe we can blast through this real quick. Actually, there's only like 3 more paragraphs or so. So, woo-wee, anybody need some water? Anybody feeling thirsty? Macho, what up, man? We still got 30 minutes till the Game Awards, so that's cool. Yeah, they patched Green Hell, Macho. Rewind the stream. Distracted like in VR Skater. Nice. Glad you picked that up on sale. What up? Go D, damn it, go D. No, but I haven't played RE4 Remake yet, but I'm playing it tonight at midnight. Come hang out and watch. The change in perspective intensifies the tension of combat and the sense of terror. PlayStation blog says the regular non-VR mode is in third-person perspective, which positions the player. Hold on, let's see here. So they just talk about completely reworking some of the aspects of the game. There's a lot of Capcom are really good at spoiling some of this stuff, so I'm trying to avoid some spoilers as well. So they basically are, to summarize, they're talking about the change from third person to first person, and they're basically saying that they will give you the option, if it feels too uncomfortable, doesn't feel great, you can have the option to switch it to like the cinema screen. But F that, man, who wants to do that? No, even RE Village with its like kind of janky cutscenes or whatever, I still enjoyed those a great deal, and I enjoyed those a lot more than the flat cinematic cutscenes that swapped like that. So it doesn't have to be perfect here. But I would rather I'm going to have all my settings, everything adjusted to try and keep the game in first person as much as possible, to stay immersed as much as possible the entire time. That is going to be my goal here. So what else we got here that we can pick out from here? Talking about some of their favorite discoveries in the game, hidden details or objects in certain locations. That they made some new discoveries. The game has 2 types of controls for crouching, using the controller buttons or actual body movement. So you can use a button to crouch, or you can just straight up physically duck. I like the options here. I like how they've got different options here. Whether you want to play sitting or standing, the game settings can be modified to suit different play styles. So you can play the sitting or standing as you would expect. Are there any other elements that are different between the regular mode and VR mode? Although not all, some puzzles have been redesigned for a more intuitive interaction. Dial puzzles can be rotated with both hands at the same time to match the patterns, and for puzzles that require you to rotate or insert cubes at different angles, you can actually hold and spin the cubes in your hands. We made sure to implement features that players will expect from a VR game. I love it, man. There's also a mode for viewing figurines that you've picked up along the way, and in VR, you can view the figurines in actual size. For example, in VR mode, you are Leon himself, so you don't usually have a chance to look at him closely, but in figurine viewing mode, you can see his actual size up close. Both elements like these are sprinkled throughout the game, so we hope players find and enjoy them as well. Lowering the barrier to convey the fun of VR to as many players as possible. PlayStation Blog says, like RE Village VR mode, it is astounding that such a robust DLC is available for free. The entire development team believes it's never too late to start building knowledge and development experience for VR, especially when there's a possibility for VR games to become even more mainstream. Look, Capcom out here, guys, holding VR up, holding the line, pushing VR forward. I cannot believe that some people actually have the gall, the tenacity to try and say that AAA games aren't important, that converting, that hybrid games aren't important, that converting flat games to VR is not important. Y'all crazy. Y'all are missing that is bonkers. That is actually what the majority of the audience is waiting for. That's why the mainstream hasn't completely adopted VR yet, because the games are still making their way to becoming a full library of AAA games, of, high quality, deep experiences in games. So I love that Capcom is out here saying, look, like this is important, that we do this to keep VR going and growing. And I totally agree. I mean, they are one of the biggest. I would actually give I would maybe give Capcom credit as being some of the biggest proponents of the growth of VR to the mainstream audience. Obviously, there's been lots of developers developing technology, the hardware, lots of stuff like that. But in terms of like just software side, getting people to adopt VR, Capcom are at the forefront, no doubt about it. But anyways, I digress. Let's get back into this. It's also challenging to showcase the fun of VR games unless they are easily accessible to players. I think there is still a high hurdle for playing games in VR, but when you actually wear the headset and dive into a game, you'll experience something special that is simply not possible in regular games. That's why it's important to lower the barrier so more players can experience the sense of immersion that is only possible in VR. Lastly, do you have any words for gamers who are looking forward to RE4 VR mode? The tagline, cheat, death, and thrill and conquer, is something we always kept in mind when developing the main RE4 game, and in this VR mode, you can experience this with your own body and senses. We hope that many players will pick up the DLC and enjoy the game in VR. Kumazawa says, I think VR mode will be a completely different experience, even for those who have already played RE4. And for those who have not played RE4, we are so excited for you to experience RE4 for the first time in VR. We are really proud of what we achieved in VR mode, and we cannot wait for everyone to experience it. And here are these two legends here. Guys, you guys, possibly, very likely, the greatest VR game to ever exist drops in just over 5 hours. Who's excited, baby? Let's go. Oh, I can't wait. So I had to skip over some of the stuff in that article because there's a lot of spoilers. There's a couple things that I mentioned that I kind of wish I didn't. I kind of wish I would have looked over that and took some notes. So hopefully, but the game's been out 20 years. So hopefully I didn't spoil too much for anybody. But yeah, man, dude, let's go, you guys. Let's go. Just over 5 hours. And yeah, going to be streaming it here at midnight. Maybe I'm sure we'll see a little teaser at the Game Awards or something for it. Another just reminder that, hey, this is coming. But 4 hours and 17 minutes, says Nihilist Ryan. Sorry, I'm not keeping count very well while talking and reading articles and managing videos and reading the chat. So yes, help me out as much as possible. But yeah, man, this game is basically everything we dreamt of when I started covering PSVR like 5, 6, whatever years ago, 6 years ago, I think. You know, this has been our dream. A game like this is what we really hear. You know, at the end of the day, I was not a VR evangelist. I was not a super into VR. It's the games that really got me into it. The idea of transporting myself into the game, the games that I know and love, and getting to experience new gameplay elements, which obviously there's been, we've come a long way from the first 5 years of console VR. 5, 6, whatever, however many years. Like I said, now it's been like what, 8, 7 years. We've come a long way. There's been a lot of standards set. Back then it was more like the Wild Wild West, where, you know, people didn't know, you know, you could play a VR game with a DualShock back then, and now we've got, like, you know, the Orb controllers. We've got controllers specifically designed for it. We've got headset rumble, haptics, adaptive triggers, newer technology from the other stuff that PlayStation was doing. And then most importantly, we've got the games. I mean, here's the thing, guys. It's awesome. Like, VR technology is awesome. I have nothing against those that are all about what the technology is capable of, what it can do. But here's the thing. If you don't have anything to do with that cool technology, it's gonna die. if like, you know, that's where the whole it's a novelty and wears off thing. The only reason VR is still alive and kicking is because of the games that have released for it. The games and the mods and the people demonstrating what it's like to play a game from inside the game. All this technology and stuff is great, but if you don't have a good game or experience to have with it, then what's the point? What is the point of it? And so that's why, you know, a game like Resident Evil 4 is the highest level of types of games that you can that you can achieve in VR, because these are games that are of the highest level in non-VR, and then to have them redesigned, rebuilt for VR. And by official companies, you know, having a quality product that can be on the store shelf. You take it off the shelf, you put it in your console. You don't have to configure or set up, you know, anything. Like, the game is good to go. You don't have to upgrade your hard drive or anything. Like, this is what we want, man. This is part of the process of making VR more accessible. And games like this make people go out and buy headsets, fly off the shelf. So really, really exciting times, man. Dutch, the _DJ, the WTF Foglands Game Cat. Thank you so much for the donation. Captain says, enjoy tonight. P.S. Hit the like button, people. I got to go. 1:45 midnight here already. You get you some rest, Dutch DJ. You're gonna need you're gonna need your rest for that tomorrow. Old Darth says, do we know how it runs graphically? 90 frames per second native or 60 reprojected to 120? Most likely it has reprojection, similar to RE Village. I'd imagine it's basically the same thing. Maybe they've discovered a couple new tricks into making it look slightly better, but at the end of the day, Resident Evil Village is one of those beautiful games I've ever played in VR. Even if it had a slight bit of aliasing here and there, it doesn't matter. I mean, the overall graphical quality, the fidelity was insanely good, and I'm not gonna let a 2-second moment where I might see some Mura, or I'm not going to sit there staring at my hands going like this the whole game. No, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be playing the freaking game and having the best time of my life doing it. But yeah, it is most likely reprojected. I don't think this game could run, likely couldn't run without reprojection. Maybe if they had like eye tracking stuff enabled, but that would have likely push development out even longer. So I am very, very excited about this, as if you couldn't tell already. Fifth says, AJ, will you play RE4 on hard? I was really thinking about it, man. I was really thinking about playing it on hard. I usually play like normal first, and then on my second playthrough, third playthrough or something, then go to hard mode. But I have played this before, so I am kind of debating whether or not I want to play it on hard. I'm probably going to stick to normal for now, because it should be plenty challenging and scary and fun. There's already going to be a lot of new things introduced here, because even though I've played the game before, I have not played the remake. I have not touched the remake or seen really much of anything about it. So there should be some new surprises. Silver Nexus says, go hard. I might, man. I might. But he says, everyone's daring me now. Everyone's daring me. The only thing I don't want is, the only thing I don't want to see is you just want a stream of me just dying over and over. I want you guys to witness some good gameplay, some cool looking gameplay, and yeah, man, cannot wait. So what are you guys looking forward to the most? Actually, don't answer that, because I don't want any spoilers. But yeah, visually, that's going to be the interesting part. For as fast as the turnaround as this was for the VR mode, it will be interesting to see. They did a really good job with it graphically. They did a good job with the physics, the haptics, everything. Obviously, not everything in the game is like as interactive as some other stuff. But it doesn't really have to be. Like, the core gameplay, the main core gameplay of the game is VRAF, and that's the important part, and that's what makes the Resident Evil games so good in VR. Is it's not necessarily it's not the fact that you can sit there and grab a leaf and it bends and you're like, oh, this leaf bends in VR, how cool. No, it's the fact that you get the game, the full rest of the game. And as you can see from the trailer here, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but as you can see from the trailer, there's some exciting cinematic, really epic moments in this game. So stuff that's going to be a little wild. Things are going to get a little wild. This game is not the slow paced, terrifying thing like Resident Evil 7 was. This game's a lot more faster paced. It's actually a really well paced game. Oh man, we got 2 donations here. Guys, Aceville has purchased a hoodie. He's purchased an underground hoodie. Let's go, Aceville. I didn't make a yellow one for you though. I thought you wanted a yellow one. That's okay. I'll get your deets later. I'll send you a yellow one. Oh man, dude, that hoodie's dope though. Guys, profit free merch, zero profit merch. Down in the description if you want. Also can get a discount on some VR lenses if you need it. Protect your lenses and protect and get a discount. And if you have any vision problems, good God, get some lenses. It's amazing. I wear the VR Rock every single playthrough, every day. I could not imagine not having my VR Rock lenses, man. Go to the VR Rock, use code AJPSVR, get a discount, and get you some. Thank you, awesome Aceville. I cannot wait to see you sporting the Underground hoodie, my friend. Thank you. I love that hoodie, just in time for winter as well. The Underground Game Cat in the house tonight. Elite Name Squad, what is up, man? Says, finally got my hands on a PS5 today. Can't wait to pick up a headset. Hell yeah, man. You're one step closer. Congrats, man. Hard to get. Says, this leaf bends. 10 out of 10. All right, guys. Well, you guys, tonight is the night. We are 4 hours and, I don't know, 7 minutes away from the greatest VR game of all time releasing. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your neighbors, tell your grandma, everybody, go out and buy the best PSVR2 game ever made and experience greatness. Everything we've been waiting for. When 5-7 years ago, people were telling me that there would be no PSVR2. Well, look at us now. We've got 2 official Resident Evil games in 1 year, and Gran Turismo 7, and No Man's Sky, and Green Hell got patched, and it's just glorious news. Glory, my friends, glory. The hype rises. Oh man, cannot wait. Amazing times, you guys. So you guys have a wonderful night. Tune back in at midnight, right around midnight, to witness my first impressions of Resident Evil 4. If you come join my chat, you will get to talk and chat. I'll be able to hear your voices and interact with you guys. So and tell you all about my first impressions. And then that will of course be continued just like I did with Village. Going to continue my full playthrough over the weekend and stream the whole entire dang thing. Chrome Colossus says no leaf bend equals hard pass. Oh man, you guys, and old Darth, I cheers to you, man. I've only got water here, but cheers to you, saying may this be the start of more frequent AAA hybrid VR releases. Cheers to that, my friend. This is just water, but I'll drink some water to that. Yeah, man. May this be the trend indeed. Of more AAA games, of more Resident Evils, of more, yeah, I mean, we've got, right after this year, we've also got, Bulletstorm coming, so, got another hybrid or AAA game, at least on the way, and, many, many more beyond that, so cannot wait to see. Let's go check out the Game Awards show, guys. Check out, and again, join our Discord if you haven't. But thank you, everybody, for dropping by tonight. It's party time, baby. I will see you at midnight for the release, or I will see you in the Discord watching the Tokyo Game Show, the Game Awards, and scouting for all the latest, celebrating VR games, celebrating video games, and all this stuff, man. What up? I made things. Hello. Thank you for joining. Let's go, you guys. Let's get out of here. Cue the Astrobot and the metal. Here we go. Silver Nexus, take care of yourself as well. Silver Nexus says, take care, be of good cheer, and game on. Game Cats and PSVR Underground. You as well, my friend. Thank you. Game Cat Photo Under says parody. Bad Robo, bye. Bad Robo, I'll be rooting for humanity for you. I made things. Thank you for joining here, man. We will definitely give you an update. Underwater Sloth, peace out, homie. Chrome Colossus to the dome. Something that rhymes with Colossus. Robert the Game Cat Wrathmania in the house tonight says happy RE4 everybody. Woo! Good night. Nihilus Ryan, my metal feline friend. Later on, you keep it metal too, my friend Mark Smith. Hells yeah, let's go. et.2k9.now. Woo! Guys, son, fist bump to you. Game Cat Chicago, Underground Game Cat in the house tonight. Goody, damn it, Goody, good to see you. Casting over the Game Cat's over. I'm so excited as well, my dude. So excited. MRI Gamer, thank you so much. Ace Mill, thanks for buying the official PSVR Underground merch. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, definitely enjoy that hoodie. I love that hoodie. It's a nice hoodie if I don't say so myself. And it's dirt cheap. Kevin Russ, that is okay if you cannot make the stream. He says Kevin Russ is gonna put his grandma in RE4 and then have her killing villagers. I love it. All you guys, Johnny No Pockets, aka Who Dat, Game Cat,